It is better to be feared than loved, if you cannot be both. Every room you enter is a battlefield, and silence is your armor. Observation is your sharpened blade, cutting through the noise of empty chatter and superficial bravado. Ordinary voices clamor for attention, vying for dominance. But those who command presence move without sound, their authority felt before it is seen. The eyes that watch, the posture that asserts, the measured calm. All these are weapons more potent than words. Weak impressions dissolve quickly, but a deliberate presence imprints respect into the minds of those who witness it. You must learn to occupy space as if it were your throne, unchallenged yet not aggressive, visible without ostentation, felt without demanding. Command flows from quiet confidence. Those who scream for authority reveal their weakness. Your silence is a declaration, your restraint a strategy. Observe first, speak only when impact is maximized. Every gesture, every glance, every pause becomes a calculated move on a mental battlefield. Historical rulers often wielded silence as influence, bending conversations and outcomes without raising their voices, their unspoken power shaping events more than armies or proclamations ever could. Let your presence absorb the room. Let your posture communicate competence. Let your gaze measure without condemnation. When someone challenges you, respond with calm precision. Acknowledge the point briefly, redirect the focus, and maintain composure. Weak, reactive argument. Strong, silent recalibration. Weak, hurried explanation. Strong, deliberate clarity. Weak, visible frustration. Strong, controlled pause. This is not manipulation, it is mastery of self and situation. Failure to command. Presence leaves you exposed to manipulators, charlatans, and those who thrive on chaos. Do not surrender your mental territory to the loudest voice. Move deliberately, speak sparingly, and let observation guide action. A single micro-example illustrates this. A colleague interrupts your strategy meeting, asserting a point aggressively. You maintain eye contact, acknowledge briefly, then continue your plan. The room aligns with your authority, not through intimidation, but through recognition of competence. Respect is not given. It is recognized by those attuned to presence. Your silence is the signal, your consistency the reinforcement, your observation the map of the battlefield. Enter every interaction as a sovereign would enter a council chamber, aware of all threats, impervious to distractions, commanding attention without a word. Let the world notice not what you say, but how you occupy space, how you carry yourself, how your calm radiates dominance. The first step toward an untouchable throne is internal mastery. Control the room without shouting, control the perception without deceit, control the moment without forcing it. Stand as if every eye acknowledges your sovereignty, even if none dares to speak it aloud. Move with intent, observe with precision, and let silence be your declaration of authority. I rise sovereign, seen and unshaken. The mind is the fortress from which all power radiates. Before you can command others, you must secure dominion over your own thoughts, impulses and perceptions. Each idea that crosses your consciousness is a soldier. Left untrained, they scatter and betray, leaving you vulnerable to mistakes and manipulation. Discipline begins with awareness. Notice which thoughts serve your strategy and which undermine it. Historical leaders often fell not from enemy swords, but from uncontrolled internal tumult. Anger, envy, and fear, eroding judgment and inviting catastrophe. The mind that governs itself anticipates, calculates, and maneuvers like a seasoned general surveying the battlefield. Your internal citadel must be fortified against emotional insurrection. Anger flares like a breach in the wall. Fear whispers treachery among your ranks. Recognize each emotional surge as a signal, not a command. In many cases, rulers who allowed resentment to fester were undone faster than those who faced armies openly. Strategically, train your mind to see beyond appearances, understand motives, detect patterns, and anticipate the moves of both allies and adversaries. Your thoughts must align like formations on a battlefield, coordinated, disciplined, and ready to strike at the precise moment opportunity emerges. When someone challenges your plan or questions your direction, respond with controlled clarity. Absorb the objection, assess its value, redirect focus, and proceed without hesitation. Weak, reactive rebuttal. Strong, measured recalibration. Weak, defensive speech. Strong, silent assertion. Weak, visible frustration. Strong, composed command. Let this micro-example serve as a model. Your calm presence signals competence and establishes authority without force. Prioritize clarity of purpose, eliminating distractions that fragment your mental army. Every decision, every plan, every projection should emerge from this internal throne. Your mind reigning over impulses with unyielding control. The moment your thoughts act in disciplined harmony, external chaos loses its power to disturb, and you operate with the strategic advantage of a commander who sees all corners of the battlefield. Engage each challenge with foresight, not reaction. Your internal fortress becomes impregnable not through rigidity, but through flexible mastery of thought, knowing when to advance, when to hold, and when to retreat. Observe, calculate, and act with intention. Let emotion inform but not dictate your course. Surround yourself with truth, filter input rigorously, and refuse the allure of petty provocations. This is the mind as a throne, sovereign, unassailable, and decisive. I rule my thoughts, and all else follows. The first light of day is a clarion call for those who seek command over their lives. The moment you rise defines the trajectory of every action, decision, and interaction that follows. Mornings are battlefields, and the early hours are the first clash where discipline meets opportunity. Engage the sunrise with a plan. Prioritize tasks that fortify your position, even minor ones, as each completed action is an outpost secured on the chessboard of your ambitions. Small victories compound, making your bed, reviewing priorities, or executing a brief exercise routine signals to both body and mind that you are sovereign over time. Energy is the ammunition of influence. Scattered or wasted, it weakens your standing and leaves you vulnerable to distractions and manipulation. Approach every conversation and endeavor as a maneuver in a tactical engagement. A deliberate word, a calm response, a measured pause, each conserving strength for the battles that truly matter. The modern world bombards you with trivial demands. Notifications, emails, social noise, eroding focus and diluting impact. Commanding the morning ensures that your attention remains your ally rather than an enemy. Observe the patterns of those who achieve effortlessly. Their mornings are structured, their priorities clear, and their energy concentrated on high-value objectives. Weak, sluggish start, reacting to inputs. Strong, proactive initiation, seizing hours before the world dictates pace. Weak, scattered effort. Strong, focused completion. Weak, low energy. Strong, calibrated vitality. Let a micro-example guide you. When a colleague challenges a morning plan, respond with clarity and calm. Explain priorities, maintain schedule, proceed without concession. The day bows to those who master the initial hours. Hesitation forfeits territory. Indecision surrenders advantage. Guard your mornings like a fortress, using structure to channel willpower, momentum, and attention toward victories both large and small. Train yourself to anticipate distractions, to act before impulses demand reaction, and to preserve strength for decisive moments. By conquering the sunrise, you set the tone for strategic dominance, establishing authority through silent, unwavering discipline. Each dawn is a campaign, and every completed task a captured position on the field of life. Execute with precision, marshal energy judiciously, and let intention guide each movement. The morning, when seized, becomes a statement of sovereignty, a signal that you operate as a commander rather than a participant in the chaos of routine. I conquer the dawn, and the day obeys. Silence is a weapon sharper than the loudest proclamation. Stillness commands the room before a single word is spoken. Like a lion surveying the savannah, the one who masters pause asserts presence without exertion. Every motion restrained, every breath measured, signals authority to those unprepared. Observation from silence uncovers alliances, exposes weaknesses, and maps the battlefield of human intentions. The world rewards those who speak with precision, not volume. Weak, filling every moment with words. Strong, speaking with purpose, letting silence amplify impact. Weak, reacting instantly. Strong, pausing, assessing, then striking with clarity. Position yourself as the predator in dialogue, letting others reveal strategy while you conserve energy. A glance, a slight nod, or even measured inaction conveys more than frantic explanation. Energy is preserved, influence is amplified. A micro example illustrates this. When a team member challenges a plan during a meeting, hold calm, maintain eye contact, and allow the tension to settle. Your unshaken presence often dissolves conflict more effectively than argument. Strategic silence is not absence, it is active control, transforming every word into a precise instrument of influence. Like archers drawing arrows only when the target is exact, speak only when impact is maximal. The pause before response collects information, frames perception, and asterisk signals calculated power. Let others fill the void with noise. Your stillness becomes your fortress and your blade. Observe, calculate, and respond with intention. Silence unsettles the unprepared, guides the narrative without confrontation, and elevates your stature without forcing it. Guard your stillness. It is the currency of command. By mastering restraint, you dictate tempo, conserve energy, and project presence. Each calculated pause is an assertion of sovereignty, an invisible dominion over attention and influence. Command the room without a word, observe without exposure, and strike verbally only with precision. Your quiet is not absence. It is strategy, authority, and subtle intimidation. I speak with impact. Silence wields power. It is better to be feared than loved, if you cannot be both. Respect is not given to the idle or indecisive. It is seized through decisive action and ruthless clarity. Begin within. Identify internal enemies first. Procrastination, distraction, and self-doubt erode authority silently, like termites weakening a throne. Crush them immediately. Each unfinished task, every unresolved obligation is a hidden insurgent undermining your dominion. Set strict rules for yourself, eliminate hesitation, and execute plans with precision. Let no weakness fester. Energy spent on triviality is energy lost to power. Assess your external environment with equal vigilance. Identify those who whisper, manipulate, or seek to diminish your influence. Associates who undermine your authority, even subtly, are hazards on your battlefield. Distance yourself without debate or apology. Protect your perimeter. Strategic removal is not cruelty, it is preservation. History confirms this principle. Machiavelli repeatedly warned that threats, visible or hidden, must not linger unchallenged. A single unaddressed rival can destabilize alliances, sow doubt, and erode loyalty. Observe patterns, detect subversion early, and act before resentment consolidates. Micro example: when a trusted colleague subtly questions your strategy in a meeting, confront it calmly but decisively, realign expectations, and if necessary, reassign responsibilities. This measured ruthlessness signals authority without unnecessary confrontation. Avoid over-explaining. Let action speak. Weak, tolerating negativity. Strong, removing obstructions efficiently. Weak, hesitating in difficult decisions. Strong, swift, confident execution. Think of yourself as both general and fortress. Internal discipline fuels external dominance. Every eliminated distraction expands your influence and sharpens focus. Recognize that energy is finite and attention scarce. Guard, both with tactical rigor. Use observation to monitor potential threats and remove them with calculated decisiveness. Silence, stillness, and disciplined action amplify your presence. Command attention through visible competence and invisible vigilance. Let the pattern of swift, intelligent action communicate your authority without boast or argument. Align resources, prioritize high-value endeavors, and purge impediments relentlessly. Sovereignty is maintained not by popularity, but by the precision with which threats are neutralized. The battlefield of respect is won in decisions both small and large. Hesitation is defeat. Execute relentlessly, remove toxins without delay, and preserve your energy for strategic maneuvers. Your inner and outer domains must be free of parasitic influence. Only then does authority solidify, loyalty strengthen, and influence expand. Eliminate weakness, command all. Respect is commanded before it is earned. Authority is a mask worn with precision, a projection of power that precedes substance. Posture is your armor. Stand with the spine aligned, shoulders squared, and head lifted. Movement must be deliberate, every gesture measured like a commander positioning troops. Your voice is a weapon, controlled, steady, devoid of tremor, carrying weight even in silence. Speak when your words deliver impact. Let pauses amplify authority. Calculated vulnerability humanizes without weakening, reveals small cracks, moments of humility, brief admissions that remind others you are not unreachable, yet never expose the core that grants your strength. Ambiguity is the unseen fortress around your capabilities. Let others guess your full reach, your potential, your reserves. Uncertainty compels deference and caution. Observe the battlefield of social dynamics. Those who overexpose themselves invite scrutiny. Those who cloak their intentions command attention. Weak, divulging every plan. Strong, selective revelation. Weak, rushed reactions. Strong, measured patience. In dialogue, a subordinate challenges your proposal with veiled criticism. Respond with calm acknowledgement, then redirect focus to the larger objective, demonstrating control without aggression. Your image must be consistent yet fluid, a blend of confidence and mystery that cannot be predicted. Appearance alone shapes perception, often faster than action. Guard tone, expression, and presence. Small inconsistencies reveal weakness. The mask is both shield and signal. It protects authority while signaling dominance. Surround yourself with visual cues of competence, attire, environment, demeanor that reinforce your projected command. Each interaction is a move on a chessboard. Anticipate reactions, conceal full strategy, allow opponents to underestimate. Then leverage surprise when decisive action is required. Master the art of controlled projection. Let your presence suggest mastery, even when deliberation lingers behind the scenes. Balance transparency with secrecy, openness with restraint. Every disclosure is tactical, every omission intentional. The powerful are remembered not solely for deeds, but for the aura their calculated image imparts. Command attention, project strength, reveal selectively, and maintain the enigma of capability. Cultivate posture, tone, and gestures as extensions of your authority. Let silence and subtlety reinforce dominance. Project power. Conceal limits. Respect is born from silent precision, not reckless action. Every move in your life is a strike, waiting for its exact moment. Timing is your greatest weapon. Attack too early, and your influence is wasted. Wait too long, and opportunity evaporates. Study the battlefield of social interaction as if it were a war zone. Identify your targets, weaknesses in allies and rivals alike, without malice, purely as intelligence for strategic movement. Leaders who consolidate power do not brandish force indiscriminately. They act surgically, removing obstacles with efficiency that commands attention. Observe Machiavelli's principle that a ruler must never allow a threat to linger unchallenged. Precision ensures that your influence expands, never contracting under the weight of poor judgment. Map your actions like a predator stalking prey, every step calculated, every pause deliberate. Strike metaphorically when the moment aligns perfectly with your objective, leaving no trace of overreaction or chaos. In discussion, if a colleague subtly undermines your proposal, respond with composed acknowledgement, then redirect focus to broader goals. This micro-example demonstrates dominance without aggression, showing that control is expressed through clarity and timing, not volume. Record, remember, and analyze patterns of behavior around you. Note where resistance forms, where confidence falters, where hesitation is exploited. Unnecessary conflict diminishes respect, while measured interventions reinforce authority. Weak, reactive retaliation. Strong, strategic execution. Weak, indiscriminate criticism. Strong, targeted influence. Historical leaders from diverse eras acted in this manner, using decisive interventions to secure their positions, enforce respect, and maintain order. Let your presence alone signal capability, yet back it with the readiness to act when conditions are right. Your mind is the weapon, your awareness the trigger, your environment the map. Never strike out of impulse. Let strategy dictate timing. Maintain the calm of a seasoned general surveying the battlefield, knowing when to advance, when to hold, when to eliminate distractions silently. Control your sphere with calculated actions, not constant agitation. Silence is armor. Precision is the sword. Watch, wait, act, and expand influence through judicious intervention. Let every interaction reflect the readiness of someone capable of decisive action without the need to prove it. Strike with precision. Command through presence. Hunger destroys strength. Nourishment builds empires. Every leader, every influencer, every person commanding attention understands that their power is sustained, not spontaneous. Feed the wolf within, the part of yourself that commands focus, strength, and respect, or it will wither, leaving weakness in its place. Intellectual appetite is your first weapon. Study deliberately. Analyze information as if it were terrain on a battlefield. Every fact a potential path or trap. Read broadly and critically, not to impress others, but to sharpen strategy. Consider every book, article, or lecture a drill, forging mental agility and preparing you for unforeseen challenges. Knowledge, once internalized, becomes instinctive. It is the blade that slices through ambiguity and hesitation. Physical dominion follows mental discipline. Health is not vanity, it is armor. Posture projects confidence before words are spoken. Presence alone influences the behavior of others, signaling capability and readiness. A strong body supports a decisive mind, each reinforcing the other. Exercise, nutrition, and deliberate physical care are asterisk investments in authority. Even subtle actions, shoulders squared, measured gait, controlled breathing, establish dominance quietly. Emotional control is the final pillar. Patience, not rage, fuels enduring influence. Anger, though tempting, is a shortcut to error and vulnerability. Discipline your reactions, process provocations internally, and choose responses that amplify respect rather than diminish it. In a modern office, a colleague may publicly challenge your idea. Do not retaliate. Breathe, acknowledge their perspective calmly, then redirect attention to the plan's strategic benefits. This micro-example illustrates control. By feeding patience instead of anger, you maintain authority without confrontation. Weak, immediate retort. Strong, measured redirection. Maintain these three streams of nourishment together, mind, body, and emotion, and you sustain the wolf that commands attention effortlessly. Neglect anyone, and influence fades like unguarded territory overtaken by rivals. Every action must support your internal ecosystem of power. Prioritize study over distraction, exercise over inertia, reflection over reaction. Let hunger drive, preparation, not chaos. Each day, feed the parts of yourself that matter and watch your presence grow sharper, more magnetic, more feared in silence. Strength multiplies when cultivated deliberately. Attention follows competence and poise. Feed. The wolf rule the day. Life is a chessboard, and every interaction is a move. From the first handshake to the subtleties of body language, your opening moves define your standing. First impressions are the pawns that set the tempo, the posture, tone, and decisiveness that signal your position to the board. Neglect them, and you begin at a disadvantage. Dominate them, and you command attention silently. Sacrifice is not defeat, it is strategy. Yield when the moment demands, not out of fear, but to secure a superior position later. A skilled leader allows a minor concession in conversation to cultivate trust, or steps back in negotiation to draw opponents into overextension. Every retreat should be calculated, every concession an investment in future leverage. Check and balance require foresight. Observe opponents, allies, and the currents of influence. Anticipate moves 2 steps ahead. Envision the consequences of each action before executing it. The board is dynamic. Adapt constantly, never assuming permanence. A colleague may attempt to overshadow your proposal. Respond by positioning your strengths visibly while allowing their momentum to expend itself on superficial victories. Weak, immediate confrontation. Strong, measured positioning that converts challenge into advantage. Intellectual vigilance sharpens perception. Consider every conversation a potential gambit, every response an opportunity to reinforce authority without overt aggression. Physical presence and composure are your bishops and rooks, projecting reach and protection. Emotional control serves as your queen, versatile, powerful, capable of influencing multiple outcomes simultaneously. Do not act on impulse. The impulsive player exposes vulnerabilities. Instead, cultivate patience, observation, and calculated action. Every decision should align with a broader strategy, integrating mind, body, and influence. Success on this board is not measured by isolated victories, but by sustained command of position and perception. Respect follows those who navigate the interplay of action and reaction, who understand that dominance is built on anticipation, adaptation, and precision, rather than noise or force. Let every move reinforce authority, signal competence, and project confidence. Life responds to calculated strategy, not reckless bravado. Master the board. Master respect. Discipline is the silent weapon that defines authority. Each morning, you engage in micro-dominance practices that condition your mind and body for command. Wake with intent, align your posture, and focus. Your thoughts before the world demands your energy. Meditation, journaling, and deliberate planning are not habits. They are tactical drills that reinforce presence and clarity. Like soldiers in formation, repetition ingrains automatic strength, ensuring composure under pressure. Consistency is your artillery. Predictable actions signal competence, reliability, and control. When colleagues or competitors witness your ritualized rigor, respect arises naturally, tempered by a quiet apprehension of your steadiness. Elite athletes refine movements endlessly. CEOs review strategies with relentless precision, and thinkers dedicate hours daily to reflection, all establishing an aura of unshakable mastery. Each repeated act, no matter how small, compounds authority over time. Strategic morning routines prepare you for decisions, managing stress before it manifests, and projecting calm dominance. Journaling or mental rehearsal acts as reconnaissance, identifying threats and opportunities with foresight. Physical readiness, the posture you maintain, the energy you project, serves as armor, signaling discipline before a word is spoken. Emotional regulation follows the same pattern. Patience cultivated daily becomes instinctive, preventing reactive errors that erode influence. A colleague may attempt to derail a project with last-minute demands. Respond by calmly executing your plan, maintaining composure while subtly redirecting the situation. Weak, immediate defensiveness. Strong, controlled engagement that demonstrates mastery without aggression. Each action reinforces the perception that you are deliberate, unhurried, and reliable. A presence that earns deference without coercion. Apply this principle relentlessly. Ritualize, repeat, and perfect. Respect is the byproduct of visible mastery, the quiet acknowledgement of someone who has prepared for every scenario, who moves with confidence because preparation is habitual. Habits create authority. They are the invisible structure supporting every interaction, every decision, every gesture of influence. Do not neglect small routines. The unnoticed disciplines compound into impervious presence. Your power grows in silence, forged by repetition, refined by consistency, and projected through steadfast actions. Command attention without demanding it. Project calm, controlled energy that signals capability before confrontation arises. The world responds to mastery, not to noise. Let every morning, every ritual, every repeated act fortify your position, cementing authority in ways words cannot convey. Discipline is dominance, repeated without fail. Power is silence perfected. Untouchability is not achieved through noise, confrontation, or spectacle. It is forged in the calm, deliberate mastery of self. Begin by severing the need for approval. Psychological immunity shields you from the trivial judgments of others, freeing energy for decisive action. The predator does not plead. It observes, calculates, and moves. Every word you speak must carry weight, every gesture deliberate. When confronted with dissent, respond with measured clarity, not reactivity. Weak, frantic defense. Strong, composed assertion that reorients the situation without escalating conflict. Strategic absence magnifies presence. By withdrawing from constant visibility, you create a gravitational pull. Your influence extends even when your body is not in the room. Executives who step back from micromanagement often see decisions bend toward their intended outcome. Athletes who rest deliberately enhance performance. Their absence sharpens anticipation and respect. Let your actions echo longer than your presence. Silence becomes your shield. Restraint, your sword. Historical figures achieved legendary authority, not through volume, but through consistency, unpredictability, and the unshakable aura of control. Caesar understood when to appear and when to vanish, amplifying influence through absence. Samurai cultivated discipline and stillness, projecting power without word or deed. Each act of restraint compounds authority, guard boundaries, allow respect to emerge naturally. Untouchability requires mastery over desire and fear alike. Do not be swayed by fleeting opinions, social pressures, or transient applause. Your internal equilibrium dictates external perception. Practice deliberate withdrawal, measured speech, and unflinching focus. The world will test your patience and challenge your detachment. Meet it with unwavering calm. Allow others to underestimate your presence. Let them misjudge your reach, then act with precise impact. Every step, every pause, every silence is a move on the invisible battlefield of influence. Reputation is not shouted, it is inferred, absorbed, and felt. When confronted with unnecessary interference, respond minimally, redirecting energy toward objectives. Weak, confrontation. Strong, containment and strategic redirection. Untouchability is the apex of command, a state where influence flows naturally from presence, consistency, and psychological independence. Let each day cultivate habits that reinforce resilience, self-possession, and controlled absence. Move through the world like a shadowed monarch, seen, respected, and unassailable. I am present in silence, untouchable in power. Power is earned in silence and perfected in alignment. You are the sovereign of shadows, moving through the world as a predator does through the forest. Alert, deliberate, unseen, yet commanding. Every skill you cultivate, the mind sharpened by reflection, the body honed by disciplined ritual, the presence refined by restraint, converges into a single, cohesive force that is immediately recognized by all who encounter you. Mental mastery begins with clarity. Know your objectives, anticipate, asterisk obstacles, and maintain equilibrium regardless of circumstance. Weak, reactive frustration. Strong, calculated response that reshapes the situation without visible struggle. Physical presence is your armor and your signal. Stand with deliberate posture, breathe with measured intent, and let your gestures convey authority before words are necessary. Every movement is a statement, every pause a signal that you are in control. Silent strategy is your unseen hand in every interaction. By observing patterns, predicting behaviors, and acting only when impact is maximal, you cultivate a reputation that precedes you. Strategic absence magnifies influence. Do not crowd every space. Do not saturate every conversation. Your name, your glance, your measured entrance becomes the instrument of respect. In daily life, visualize every encounter as a chessboard where stakes are high and every decision counts. Approach colleagues, friends, and rivals as if they are pieces whose alignment can be anticipated and subtly guided. When disagreement arises, respond with calm authority, redirecting tension toward productive channels rather than conceding control. CEOs, athletes, and thinkers who master these patterns are not always the loudest, but they are always the most effective. Internalize these habits until they are instinctive. Each morning ritual, each period of reflection, each measured action compounds into a gravitational field of respect. Let your decisions be deliberate, your energy scarce but potent. Recognize that untouchability is earned through repeated demonstrations of consistency, calm, and competence. The world will attempt to test your boundaries. Meet these tests not with reaction, but with silent calibration. Your influence is strongest when it appears effortless, yet it is built on rigorous preparation and relentless refinement. As your mind, body, and presence align, respect ceases to be requested and becomes automatic. You move through spaces with authority unspoken, command attention without noise, and leave outcomes in your favor as a natural consequence of your alignment. Every small act of discipline reinforces this sovereignty. Every moment of restraint strengthens the gravitational pull of your influence. Your transformation is complete when you no longer depend on external validation, when your presence alone suffices to shape perception and outcomes. Others will follow the rhythm you set, unconsciously attuned to your deliberate cadence. Let this mastery extend beyond professional arenas into personal conduct. Integrity, consistency, and calm authority amplify perception across every domain of interaction. Daily practice of this convergence ensures that the lessons of strategy, restraint, and presence become inseparable from your being. Weak, hurried. Reaction, scattered energy. Strong, poised action, unified force. Your sovereignty is not announced. It is absorbed by all who sense the alignment of mind, body, and strategy. Move forward with intent, observe with patience, act with precision, and allow silence to declare your dominance. I command respect without uttering a word. Power is claimed in silence and fortified through daily discipline. Treat each interaction as a battlefield where words are ammunition and presence is armor. Begin with mental alignment. Cultivate focus, anticipate reactions, and maintain calm regardless of provocation. Weak, rushed answers. Strong, measured, statements that shift influence subtly. Move through spaces with deliberate posture, controlled breathing, and minimal gestures. Your body becomes a signal of authority before any words are spoken. Respect flows to those who do not demand it, but command it through consistency. Silence is a weapon. Observe before acting, measure before speaking, and let absence magnify your influence. Daily practice is non-negotiable. Each conversation, each choice, each controlled reaction compounds into a reputation that precedes you. Your presence alone begins to shape outcomes, creating a gravitational pull of attention. and deference. Visualize life as a sequence of strategic encounters. Colleagues, acquaintances, and strangers are pieces on a chessboard. Your moves are deliberate, your responses calibrated. When disagreement arises, remain unshaken, listen with intent, and redirect tension toward productive alignment rather than conceding control. Leaders, thinkers, and athletes who master this rhythm are rarely loud, yet their authority is undeniable. Internalize the principle so that mastery becomes instinctive, flowing from mind to action seamlessly. Empowered presence is rooted in self-sovereignty. The world mirrors the confidence and restraint you project. Avoid unnecessary exposition. Let outcomes testify to your competence. Each decision made with deliberate intent, each action executed without haste, reinforces the silent rule. Energy is scarce and potent. Expend it strategically, not frivolously. Reputation strengthens when actions are consistent and restraint is habitual. Others will follow the cadence you set unconsciously, attuned to the gravity of your alignment. Transform routine into ritual. Reflection, observation, preparation, and measured action converge into effortless authority. The silent rule is not a performance, but an internalized state of command. Through repetition and awareness, respect becomes instinctive rather than conditional. You no longer ask for acknowledgement. It is granted automatically by those who recognize competence and restraint. Let your conduct in daily life mirror the discipline of a strategist, the vigilance of a predator, and the calm authority of a sovereign. Observe, anticipate, act with precision, and let silence assert dominance where words fail. Align your mind, body, and presence until they operate as a unified instrument of influence. Each day reinforces your gravity. Each moment of restraint amplifies your unseen authority. Move with intent, speak minimally, act decisively, and cultivate a presence that draws respect without effort. I speak without words, I strike without force. In silence, I am sovereign, respected, untouchable.